Karma, the sum of a person's actions in this and previous states of existence, viewed as deciding their fate in future existences. As you guys know, I live in Las Vegas. Throughout my entire life, all the way through college, I've been an elite basketball player, which has pretty much led me to knowing or having relationships with lots of different people, right? Now, in the last couple of years here in Vegas, there have been two bizarre stories that have been all over the news. And they each involve an individual I went to high school with and played basketball with here in Las Vegas. So I want you guys to sit back and just tell me what you think about this. First up is Arthur Moore. Yes, we have the same first name. Okay, I'm going to read the article. No one was charged in the shooting death of 16-year-old Eric Brill for 7 years, but court documents indicate that a man told a fellow jail inmate specific details about the killing a month after it happened. The man, Nathan Corey Hiko, and 3 others were indicted on murder charges last week. Behind bars in March 2009 on a separate robbery charge, Hiko, also known as Nadim Hiko, disclosed to a cellmate that he shot and killed someone at a party in the Northeast Valley, according to grand jury transcripts recently made public. The cellmate, Edward Cruz, wrote letters to the Las Vegas police who initially dismissed the confession, in part because the killers were described as black men. Hiko is white. Brill was attacked and shot in the back of the head outside of a house party on Beasley Drive. Witnesses told Clark County grand jury that the gunman approached Brill and then 19-year-old Joseph Bentley and pulled out handguns and shot them as they tried to run away. Bentley suffered critical injuries, including a collapsed lung, but survived. At night, the area is pitch black. When the teens were shot, the area had no streetlights. Terrell Moore, who also attended the party, testified last month that there was limited lighting outside of the house party. He said he heard about 15 shots from one gun, but all the robbers, whom he described as dark-skinned type of black, were armed. The reason we couldn't make them out is because it was dark outside, Moore said. Another man from the party, Angelo Gilbert, described the shooter as a dark-skinned male, though he said he did not get a good look at the gunman's face. Hiko, now 26, and 3 others, Arthur Moore, Devontae Wash, and Devon Sebastian, are expected to make their first court appearance in the murder case Wednesday. Now let's fast forward to March of this year. Arthur Moore was sentenced to a combined 16 to 40 years in prison for second-degree murder, as well as a few other things. Hiko was sentenced to 10 to 25 years in a plea deal he took. The others are awaiting trial. That night, they shot a 16-year-old kid in the back of his head after robbing him for a cell phone and $20 cash. 12 years later, they were sentenced for that crime. Arthur Moore was living his life. He thought he was free and clear. But somehow the universe and God made sure that he didn't get away. Would you guys call this karma? Would you call this, we have laws on earth made by man, but there are also universal laws. And I feel like what you put out in the earth, it will come back to get you. It's beyond your control. Let me know down in the comments, is this a prime example of God, karma, universal laws, or just stupidity by 4 stupid criminals? Let me know, guys. Next up, we have Jarrell Washington. I played on the same basketball team in high school as him. He was a grade or 2 older than me, but I remember him being funny. Okay, I'm going to read the article now. A man accused of shooting a Las Vegas teenager to death in 2007 pleaded not guilty to murder and robbery charges on Wednesday. Jarrell Washington, 30, was arrested on a warrant June 7th in connection with the death of 18-year-old Corey Bernard Isaacone, who died from a gunshot wound to the head. Metropolitan Police Department cold case detectives connected Washington to the shooting after a .25 caliber automatic handgun was recovered by department search and rescue divers while searching the south end of Lake Lindsay in the Desert Shore subdivision. Detectives learned on March 6 that ballistics testing matched the bullet that killed Isaacone to the recovered gun, the warrant said. The search of the lake came after a confidential informant told police in August 2018 that he was very good friends with Washington, who had told him he had robbed and shot someone and then tossed the gun into the lake, the warrant said. The informant also helped police identify the lake, which was within a mile of where police found Isaac Holm sitting behind the steering wheel of his car in the middle of the westbound lane east of Rampart Drive with a gunshot wound to his head. Isaac Holm talked to someone over the phone about a possible marijuana sale that day. Detectives learned and drove himself and a friend to pick up a thin young man from a house, according to the warrant. Isaac Holm addressed the man as Jarrell, and he stayed with Isaac Holm and his friend as they made sales at 2 spots and stopped at a convenience store, the warrant said. Jarrell was in the back seat behind Isaac Holm when Isaac Holm dropped off his friend at home about 4 p.m., the last time he was seen alive. Police determined Isaac Holm and a phone number registered to Washington exchanged 5 calls and a voicemail on August 19th, with the last exchange about 90 minutes before his death, the warrant said. Washington is being held without bail and is scheduled to appear in court next on August 1st, when trial date will be set. So what do we have here? In 2007, Jarrell called someone he knew, a friend, Isaac Holm. Hey, pick me up, bro. They probably smoked pot. He rolled with them in the back seat. Isaac Holm and his friend. They went to several stops, 2-3 stops to sell weed. They were probably smoking in the car. They're having a good time. Isaac Holm drops his other friend off. Jarrell doesn't get in the front seat. He stays in the back. He probably tried to rob Isaac Holm. He saw how much money they made that day. He tried to rob him. Isaac Holm probably didn't want to give it up. He just shot him in the back of his head. Left him in the middle of the street. Left his car in the middle of the street. 9 years later, 2018, he gets arrested. No. Let's go back first. Then Jarrell, what did he do? He ran home. He's in panic. But eventually, he bragged to a few friends. Now, in 2018, many years later, he gets arrested. He got arrested because someone down the line, this is many years, got in trouble by the law. They're a confidential informant. The cops are bringing pressure on him. He's like, hey, bro, I got something for you. I know about a murder. Someone told me blah, 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 many years ago. I was good friends with him. I know it's true. I even know where he put the gun. So Jarrell's living his life, not a good one. As you see in the picture, he's clearly doing drugs, he's clearly on meth or something. He was working at a grocery store. One of my friends used to tell me that I've still talked to, tell me that she would see him at the grocery store bagging up. And, he's probably doing drugs to handle what he did that day. Or maybe he's done more, who knows? But is that karma? He thought he was free. He thought he was scot-free, was living his life. But it came back. It came back full circle, 360. Now, he pleaded not guilty. He's going to take it to trial here soon. He should be going to trial here soon. And I'm gonna do an update video to let you guys know once he gets sentenced, because 9 times out of 10 he's going down. He's going down for this crime, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know down in the comments different instances of you guys having karma. These are just 2 instances where I was like, oh man, I should share this with my YouTube page, because what are the odds? Both of these guys, down the line, they're way down the line, away from their crimes. They did them back in the day. They still came back to hunt. Also, subscribe to our follow our Instagram page at Woke Society LLC.